I feel like now, with what you mentioned, Cho isn't going to be super hotly contested because it looked like they were ready to answer it in the last game.
Yeah, no, but it was still too good. Is it just me, or was it just forcing out so many movements and so much resources from Team Spirit? And I don't know if they're aware of that. Watching the game from a bird's eye view, I can see it.
I could see it too, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. Like, Sawo is really on the ball with it. He's communicating well with the rest of his team to allow Sunset Lover to even respond to OP at times to make sure they cancel out the second half the way of the Dragon. So I'll give it to them. They've had interesting ways of handling it, but Blue Yo, once again.
So for OP, the man who played the Cho that Leo strongly believes right now should be contested in the previous game, OP's IGN is actually inspired by his siblings' IGN, Oppa and Oppo. For real.
So he's OP.
He's OP.
I don't know. I feel like he got the best part of that. out of the three, Oppa's pretty good, but OP just feels like you're busted, you know?
His Cho is busted.
Is overpowered, some may say.
And it's still left open. I don't think they want to pick it up here.
I think, well, see if you decided to go for the Valentina instead. This might be them going like, we're going to try to check if you actually are confident with picking up Cho.
Yeah, steal it away or else.
Yeah, and then if they don't pick it up here, Team Spirit, it goes third.
And they also have a Hilda open.
Yeah.
How did these picks come through?
I mean, they're trying to change things up, right? The fact that Bruno is being banned in the first phase, coming in from Vren at the very least.
MVP performance, though.
Yeah, that is fair. I do think that Hilda at the very least probably is going to get picked up.
There she is.
It's a pretty free lane. It's super easy to play, super easy to execute upon, and maybe you can at least try and force out some movements from CFU.
Should be a better game for the Bomba. Going 1-8 in game 1, he has a lot to make up for.
Whoa.
What?
Talking about early picks.
Early 1-1, you don't see the gold laner on the other side just yet. You know, the Bruno's gone. But honestly, I wouldn't be so remiss if CFU just decided to go Irithel.
I think that is what they're hoping for, right? They would rather deal. They would rather deal with one of the few problems. Either you give them Cho, they get an alpha, or they get the instant counter pick in the Irithel, right? So three potential picks, and it looks like CFU has decided on the alpha to say, at a bare minimum, I want my jungler to have a good time.
Yep, deal with the Hilda. And now they're going to keep on banning that Belleric. Same spot, same as game 1. Gatot still at large. In the first phase, Team Spirit took out the Vexana. No longer necessary. Instead, they take out the Granger. And what, one more? Would the Irithel be ban-worthy?
I would hope that it's going to be the Irithel at this point, because again, that Hilda with Sprint is going to be able to chase down at same speed, Mach 5 against both of them.
I mean, he's sort of fallen out of favor in the current meta. Not okay, maybe not completely the current meta game, but teams would rather prioritize something else. But honestly, if CFU want to go full dive, I don't see enough pieces on the side of Team Spirit yet to take that down. Like, they might just be able to crash down on the 1-1 with the Harith and the Glorious Pathway and everything that gets brought to the table. That might actually give problems to the 1-1.
I'm looking for a little more burst.
From CFU?
Yeah, if you want to take down the 1-1 quick and maybe make the Hilda's life a living hell. Because she doesn't want to do that to the Alpha, not as much.
I mean, sure, but that's where you take the Irithel. You already have the combinations. You got plenty of peel. You have Glorious Pathway.
That's true.
It's so free. You get so much from her passive as well, where a majority of the damage is. They're not banning it out. So let's see. Let's see what CFU is going to do about it.
Is Coach Vren opening it up because he took out the Bea instead of the Irithel?
Let's see if Singh has a ready Irithel in his hands.
Or maybe he's going for the hard read. You don't play Irithel, and maybe we have an opportunity.
Oh, that's true. I mean, they can actually save up on their gold laner later. They can already show the Roam EXP.
Give us the Cho, right? I mean, even Cho doesn't feel too great here.
Huh?
Oh!
We overshot it.
Okay, so they're going for what we suggested. Instead of looking too much into the team fights, they're thinking a little bit more macro now.
Play the map. Yeah. There's the Gatot. Clearly going to go to the hands of Sawo. And what does Sunset Lover play?
At this point, any big burst with crowd control would be good. You're just going to be giving something to the Valentina.
Levex.
Yeah, like Vex, Aurora. All of them are going to be okay in my book.
Yeah, all of them kind of do revolve around the same concept.
I'd rather the Aurora then.
You'd rather the Aurora?
Yep.
Well, that would help set up the 1-1 a little bit better.
I mean, but do you really want to give the ult over to Valentina? I think that's also something that you need to take into consideration.
That or the Frigid. breath, you know, the frigid ice.
Find a way, even when all is forlorn.
There it is.
Oh, they would rather the eternal.
They want the snap response.
Okay.
They don't have time, man.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. Interesting. Interesting the way that they're, you know, opening this draft as of right now. But now CFU, very final pick here. It feels kind of bad. It feels kind of bad to like look for Cho at this point, right?
Yeah, they need a bit more damage in this, but at this point, like, where are you gonna get it?
Phobias.
Just for damage?
I mean, you get free procs. There's so many ways to get free procs as well.
Yeah. You're not gonna hit the 1-1 with Infernal Pursuit, but at least the good thing is that you could just get a little bit more basic attacks off, enhanced basic attacks. Actually, just have an Infernal Suit flying, Pursuit flying around.
That's also fair, unless they want to go for Benedette. What? Whoa!
Oh, excuse me.
XP lane high loss it is.
Okay, the XP lane, the high loss, stick, full dive. Huh. I feel the same way again after game number 1. It's like hard to read specific like interactions that this might just end up boiling into fighting. Is it just gonna be another big fun brawl, Miracles, Dafa?
If game 1 is anything to go by, I think Fun Brawl has very subjective interpretations, depending on whether you're asking us or the teams who are putting their blood, sweat, and tears on that M6 stage.
Yeah, that's pretty well said, man. I don't know. Seeing as well on the Moskov, you would definitely think, you know, up against the 1-1, the Hilda, that the Aerothor will be the best choice. But I guess good read from Spirit, not banning it out, knowing that maybe it's not part of his hero pool.
And maybe it's not the style that CFU is looking to play for, right? They're a slower team, but sometimes steady makes a best. And right now, CFU are 1 victory away from forging a path straight into the knockout stage. Team Spirit, 1 chance, 1 shot to stop them.
Let's see, both junglers starting on purple buff. Hiko, weakness finder here. That's the choice of emblem for the Wanwan. On the Inspire, as expected. Z, there you go. Brave Smite on the Valentina. Not the Impure Rage. Wants to stay sustainable in a lot of these team fights. Knows that Team Spirit at least have a lot of burst damage that he needs to just sustain away from. Tenacity too, the choice for Sing. Yeah, they know how much damage Spirit can dish out.
Yeah, and it's very suited to the CFU playstyle as well, right? Their goal is just to make sure that they are able to extend and prolong the fights. I also like that there's a bit of a lane swap happening here, right? With Kid Bomba taking the mid EXP and allowing Sunset Lover to take the EXP lane as well, just to buff up the Vexana a little bit more and hold out the lane pretty well against Wadu.
It's also interesting that Hiko was gone for the Master Assassin, so usually on the 1-1, you would actually like to play a lot more with the team, right? As soon as the laning phase is over, as soon as you have 2 items, you usually just want to play for your team. That's why a lot of 1-1s, even if you're in a winning matchup, they would much rather go for pull yourself together for you know, increased cooldown on the Inspire instead of the Master Assassin. So we'll see just how good Hiko can play out this lane. Because by the time the laning phase is over, we're really not going to see 1-1 alone much at all.
Unless Hiko just wants to show that he is capable of doing so. After game 1, I think Hiko Mania is at an all-time high. Savage in the M6 Swiss stage, and yet wasn't able to actually convert it into a victory. That does leave a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, you know? I think we all can relate to that from our pub games when we're doing so well and yet not quite able to close it out. CFU, they definitely want to slow this game down, and I think Hiko also knows he's most likely not going to be threatened too often, so that could actually enable him to play more as an independent flanker instead.
The Terrify, even the power of Wilderness coming out. AOG! 2 members knocked up, but they know that they don't want to fight here. Just Wadu popping a Glorious Pathway, and then Team Spirit securing the neutral objective. Again, just like in game 1, TS start off with the neutral objective.
Yeah, I think it is quite expected, just based on the interactions between these 2 teams, that Team Spirit will usually get that first turtle. It is at the stage where not everyone's level 4 yet, so CFU actually not that comfortable with going for the team fight, since that's not really their style, right? It's not the typical path that they go for. From the second turtle onwards, though, it's a lot easier for them to challenge it. And I think it speaks to the way that the meta has developed, where even though we promote a lot of early game aggression and snowballing is stronger than ever, that first turtle actually doesn't make as much of a difference as it used to in the general scope of the game.
And now for CFU, it's all about just, trying to make it even again, trying to go for the invades around the map. Detective with the Alpha. Yeah, the Alpha really does really well too, by the way, up against the Hilda, right? So Bamba's going to actually have a bad time, I would say, if he actually wants to go and invade the enemy jungle. CFU have many ways to deal with the Hilda. First, the Detective, obviously, with the Alpha. They can shred through the tanky boy, or tanky girl, that is Hilda. Bottom lane, we get to see a bit of action here as Hiko uses... Oh, good take by Sing, using SOD. But yeah, you can see the Master Assassin play a bit, but yeah, Sing just regens back to full, almost.
Yeah, we have to note as well that CFU Gaming actually doesn't have a lot of burst, right? It's wholly Detective in the early game and a little bit from Z.
Oh! First blood, one shot. Gets the one shot in the mid lane, set up perfectly by Sawo and Sunset Lover. Even without the Eternal Guard, that was just Terrify, Taunt, and then Stun from one shot.
It was a 1v3 basically, but now this could be a 2v2.
AOG not gonna count Detective. Good taunt over to Terrify. Also now the Eternal Guard, but Wadu has revitalized OP! Implosion onto 3, but Bamba returns the favor. You can revitalize, I can revitalize. We can all just stand in this green pool.
Literally 3-man implosion, and they came out with more health than they started because of the double revitalize there. CFU on top. Oh! The steal from one shot!
Amazing steal. Bamba walks up, dishing about a bit of damage, just trying to zone them away. But even though the Soul Sever has been nerfed, it still works. Oh, what happened in the mid lane? Sing gets caught by Sunset Lover. Now 2-0, 2,000 gold lead for TS.
This is a much bigger goal lead than Spirit were able to gain in game number 1, which really speaks to how slowly game number 1 went since it's only 2k. But this is very, very important for Team Spirit. CFU does need items to scale on Z and Sing. In comparison, Spirit has a bit more consistent pressure overall with one-shot Kid Bomba and Sunset Lover. So they need to create as much of this space as possible. It's a similar situation to game 1, just that they have more tools to work with this time, right? The more goal lead they can create, the harder it is for CFU to play a slow, safe, counter-engage gameplay style.
Now it's back to slow. It's back to the Spirit tempo. This is what they like to do, especially when they have that gold lead, right? There's no real reason to go for any fights when there are no neutral objectives. So it's just a lot of screening, reading out where the opponents are, and then walking back, disengaging, poking them down. Great Curse Blast. That connects onto 2. Sing will start to group up with the team. Okay. So CFU are actually making way to try to get, what, double lanes? Yeah, Sing goes back up top to try to match up Hiko's farm.
Yeah, Team Spirit can continue doing this. Hiko has much higher mobility overall than Sing, and because he's playing with that Master Assassin, is actually not too badly equipped for direct 1v1s, right? So because of that, Team Spirit can play a 4+1 with Hiko being that one. Ooh, that stun there with Spear of Misery, but no follow-up. CFU is not looking to fight right now.
Yep, they're both just waiting for the neutral objective. Spirit, AOG! Sing with the Purify already. That's going to be OP jumping over the shove. Sawo taking a lot of hits now with Revitalize as well. That's a kill with the Implosion. One shot comes in from the side. Gets the Soul Sever to assassinate. Hiko on the turret. That's a Terrify as well. Alpha on the turtle. C walking up Eternal Guard over towards Bamba. But Wadu won't be able to take that punishment. It'll just be a trade. 2 members for Sawo and a turtle.
Yeah, so far so good though for Team Spirit. Like I mentioned, the more kills, the more snowball they can get, the more they force CFU into an uncomfortable situation. We already know that they like to play slow. They want to play responsive. And they're very good at doing that. But if you just run at them too quickly, it can be hard for them to respond. So far, they've displayed good mastery of handling it throughout the Swiss stage. But Team Spirit playing at a higher tempo.
Uh-oh, crossbow tang is ready. Hiko doesn't have the Inspire, will decide to pop it, forcing OP to flicker out. So, shock factor engage from OP is down for the next 2 minutes.
And a really important battle spell for CFU as well. It's not just a way for them to start fights, it's a way for them to counter fights when Team Spirit decides to overextend. So without that flicker, it's a lot easier for Spirit to go for the aggressive positioning in the Land of Dawn and further their goal lead. As of right now, we're 8 minutes in. only 2K's net worth advantage still for Spirit. So CFU actually not too far behind, but Singh has definitely been affected a good amount. A pretty notable gold gap between the Moskov and the Wanwan.
Yeah, and for Spirit now, they're just going to group up, possibly trying to threaten this mid lane take. They did the setup already to actually go for the siege, but I don't know. CFU just have so many... Whoa! Haas Claws on Hiko? Wait, third item Haas Claws on Hiko on the Wanwan. Now that's new.
If the Master Assassin didn't show you that Hiko probably wanted to play mostly independent, the Haas Claws should really push that home. Hiko expects to be making plays on his own, and is basically saying to his team, I'm gonna itemize in a way where you don't really need to babysit me, and that way you can open up the map more easily. Hiko can not only go for macro play, he can also escape if CFU decides to try and overcommit on him. So Spirit is going in this angle.
Whoa. OP walks up, the AOG will connect onto him one shot. Gets a stun in the back. Eternal Guard onto 2 as well. Hiko looking to play. The SOD connects. Detective Card in the midst of it all will be able to survive for a bit. They're revitalized too. Hiko unable to find it just yet. The crossbow Tang is ready. He will pop it. Hiko on the crossbow Tang and the Aspire. C's next to the chopping block. Hiko looking for the play. C will fall. Hiko, not again. Not again, Hiko, you mad lad. Hiko gets another big play.
The Hiko mania is real, ladies and gentlemen. We literally said it. Hiko wants to play independent. Hiko wants to make plays happen all on his own. And he is doing exactly that, even zoning out Detective on the 1-1.
Wow.
Team Spirit, this has been a secret weapon of theirs for a long time. But he is just getting better and better in every round here at M6.
This guy is a beast. Hiko, game 1 with a Savage. Game 2 on the Wanwan, Haas Claws, Master Assassin. No wonder he wants to come in and clean up technically. AOG, Detective. You can Spear of Alpha, but Hiko can just continue to chase and he will choose to just accept his fate. Haas Claws, Malefic Gun.
Wow, okay, hold on.
Hiko, that might be a bit too crazy, my guy. OP gets the shove back finally. That's a shutdown over. OP gets the punish. Hiko, a bit too aggressive, pops the Purify built in, Purify a bit too early as well. Bamba taking a bit of punishment. Still has the Lord of the mid lane.
Singh just finished the Marksman Trinity. 10.5 minutes, pretty slow all things considered, but at least it is done. But Spirit not letting up.
Yeah, Singh has to take a big amount of damage. Now they're going to have to give away tier 2 in the mid lane. It should be all tier 2 taken down up top by minions, and then they're rotating towards that bottom lane to take the final tier 2 of the map.
Spirit finally breaking through to that roughly 4K net worth advantage where they can really say that they are starting to pressure CFU in a way where they can no longer afford to really slow down the game too much. Turtling at this stage, especially in this meta, has become a lot more difficult with the amount of tools that you can get and the need to really have map control to actually solidify your farm. Even though they got a pretty good ambush onto Hiko previously, Team Spirit is showing that they are a 5-man unit. Hiko is not the only threat you need to be worried about. And that is putting a lot of pressure onto OP. He's basically the only way that CFU can guarantee good engagements onto their opponents.
Yep. And now it's a tier 2 in the bottom lane. All tier 2s taken with the Lord advantage earlier. Spirit will just play again with their 4,000 gold lead here. I think the best play is to actually just freeze up the waves, which they are doing right now. Not letting CFU get near the side lane minions here. They're just going to continuously push into mid lane, give them a little bit of goal, but this will obviously be to actually get more tempo around the enemy jungle so that they can actually steal away even more resources from CFU and force them to technically just share the gold of the minion waves in the mid lane together, which isn't really too much. Yeah, so CFU, they're caught in a tough spot now. They're just going to be relying on the minions to be slowly pushing back to them to actually get farm. If not, yeah, TS are just going to push in mid again and probably go and try to invade purple.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like Team Spirit should actually be trying to push a little bit slower here to maybe bait CFU out further onto the map, because this is a very familiar position for a lot of us MLBB players, right? It's a very unfortunate position as well, where you are behind. You know that you're weak enough that you have to stay as a 4 or 5-man unit to actually go anywhere on the map, but doing so is not allowing you to farm or catch up to your opponents. Team Spirit needs to perpetuate that situation for as long as possible, but forcing the lanes out isn't working.
Great play. Oh, 3-man Eternal Guard from Sunset Lover. Wadu, glorious pathway to run away. Good Spear of Misery. Sing and Detective get away. They get the Lord, but I don't know. Is that worth it?
I wouldn't say it's the most worth it, because Team Spirit can deal with this Lord without having to break a sweat at all. The minion waves were pushing in for them as well, so CFU actually ended up taking some damage to their inhibitors. And now Team Spirit are 5-man strong and can push, while CFU is still on a 10-second respawn timer.
Yeah, this might actually be an angle for Team Spirit. Singing to be caught out, dismantled, evaporated. Spear of Alpha defensive or just desperately. Hiko will go for it, Inspire in, 13 minutes in. Decisive call from Spirit. Let them take the Lord. We'll